පියවතනා රුතින්
ඒවට අවසරයි. පෙරවන් සරණයි. තම සනීපේ ඉන්නවද?
Hello, good evening, Reverend. Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello, buonasera.
Buonasera, come va?
Sì, bene, bene, come stai?
Bene, bene.
Dove sei?
Italy.
In Italy?
Sì, vicino a Milano.
Oh, wow, ok.
I'm member for 20 years now. Bulagala Mahatmya.
Okay.
Someone join us. And we see Nimal Don as well, Vidya Amarapala. Welcome. I see Prema Bulagala also. Mrs. Prema Bulagala, Mohammed. And Milan also. Thanks for joining. We're going to start in 5 minutes. We are waiting for the other 2 months. We'll come to the corner now. Venerable sisters, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, today you are gathered here because I have fulfilled come into my 57th year of monkhood. I was ordained in 1964 on this day, 23rd August in Singapore, the first boy to become monk in Singapore's history. I'm very glad to welcome all of you. First, our Venerable Vidya Vimala Mahathera, the head of the Letchworth Buddhist Vihara in Ursley, and also his assistant deputy monk, Venerable Surya Weber Kusala Thera, who has been trained in Sri Lanka and Thailand, and who has been coming to our countries, Singapore, Malaysia, very frequently. Then the head of the Vihara of this temple where we are holding this program, Letchworth Dharma Nikethanaya, Venerable Samita Thera. Then our Venerable next to me, Venerable from Sri Lanka, Veurukannala Mahavihara, Matara. He is also an advisor to the Berlin Buddhist Vihara. We are resident monks, both of us here, temporary, aiding this temple here in Letchworth in the United Kingdom and also in Milton Keynes in the United Kingdom. We will start today by having the Buddha Pooja for 20 minutes. We are limiting our time in a very specific way so that we won't prolong the programs to facilitate. Many overseas monks and lay persons are joining us, and their time in Asia is very different. It's midnight for them in Singapore and Malaysia, 1 o'clock. In Sri Lanka, it's 10:30. So we start now. I would gratefully call Venerable Samita Thera to conduct the Buddha Puja for 20 minutes. We limit, yeah. Later, after that, will be a poem by a beautiful little girl from Kandy, and her name is Nirvani. How wonderful to have such a name. I have never met her, but the father is a friend of mine. Okay, Venerable Samita. To observe the 5 precepts, recite Namo Tassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata vedamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana vedamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kami sumiccācara vedamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada vedamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Suramere majjapamadattana vedamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sadhu kian.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Yin kian ya. So we'll go to the next item. Let us all worship, have the Buddha Puja for 20 minutes. Yeah, Venerable Samita, please. Yeah.
Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We pay our homage to the Blessed One, Supremely Enlightened Lord Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. Today we offer the puja to invoke the blessings to Most Reverend Dr. Dato Sumana Siri Nayaka Thera on his 57th Moonkhood anniversary. To become a monk is a great fortune, great blessing in the samsara. And to fulfill the aspiration of the monkhood is another very special blessing in a life. In the midst of defilements and all other influences in the invisible and visible universe, that we all are living in a very uncertain world, to fulfill such a journey, particularly in the battlefield of defilements, is not an easy task. We need to be an elephant-like to continue such a journey. To mark 57th milestone is a quite remarkable achievement in a life. So therefore, we continue to bless Most Reverend Dr. Dato Sumana Siri Nayaka Thera to find the happiness, to find the fulfillment, to find that virtuous friendship, Satpurusha Sevana, Kalyana Mitra Sampatti, and all the blessings in his journey, in particular to gain the best of health, protection from all around, bearing this, venerable monks are going to do the homage together with you all. Please join in distance to share the blessings. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Vidya charana sampanno sugato lokavido. Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manussanan Tundo Bhagavati Buddhang Jivitang Yava Nibbānam Saranam Gacchāmi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Appadiko Ehi Passiko Opanayiko Paccattam Veditambo Dhammang Jivitang Yava Nibbānam Saranam Gacchāmi. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Uddhupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Nyaya patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Samici patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Yadidam cattari purisa yugani atta purisa pukkala. Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Ahuneyo Ahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyang Ettam Lokassati Sangham Jivitang Yava Nibbānam Saranam Gacchāmi. Vandami Cetiyam Sabbam Sabbadāye Supatintitam Saririka Dhatu Mahabodhim Buddha Rupam Sakaram Sada. Yassa Mule Nisinno Sambhari Vijayam Rakha. Patto Sabbam Yutam Satta Vande Tam Bodhipadapam. Ime ete Mahabodhi Lokanatena mudita. Aham vite namassami Bodhi Raja Namantute. Ganasarabhadittena Dipena Tamadang Sina තිලෝකදීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන රූපේනාහං සුගන්ධිනා පූජයේ පූජනීයං තං පූජාවාජන මුත්තමං වන්නේ ගන්ධ කුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සම්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුවේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලබ්ධෝමි මොක්ඛං උපං විලායාති අතාරි ධම්මේ ආයෝ තතායාති විනාශ භාවං සුගන්ධං සීතලං කප්පං අසන්න මధుරං සුභං පාඩීය මේතං භගවා පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම අදිවාසේතු නෝබන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං නිලමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම අදිවාසේතු නෝබන්තේ සබ්බං සද්ධාය පූජිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පබ්බේන මයාපතං අච්චයං තමමේ භන්තේ භූරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයාපතං අච්චයං තමමේ භන්තේ සම්දිට්ඨික අකාලික කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයාකතං අච්චයං තමමේ සංඝ සුපටිපන්න අනුත්තර ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තිය ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ශාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ Sadhu, sadhu.
Next item is Nirvani there, who says is going to say the poem. Abita, is Nirvani there?
Yes, Sadhu Mama.
Ask her to sing the poem.
Okay, Sadhu Mama.
Theruvan Saranai.
Just
Wishing all who are present today a pleasant evening. I would like to wish our dear Sadhu Mama a very blessed monkhood anniversary. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be with you throughout your journey in crossing the Sansara. Today I am going to say a small poem to Sadhu Mama. Pun poda sandapaya guantale සිත්සන සමින් වැඩ වාසනා ලෝකතාලේ සාදු මාමේ ඔබ අපහට දෙන දහම් බලේ අප සිත් සතන් බැති අතරින් පවන් සැලේ සුවහසක් ලෝසතට සුමදුර දම් දේශනා සම්බුදු සසුනේ චිරතිය සෑම විට රකින 57 වසක් බුදු හිමි මත වැඩ සිටින පතමු දිගායු අද දින සුමන සිරි නාහිමිට පතමු දිගායු අද දින සුමන සිරි නාහිමිට පතමු දිගායු අද දින සුමන සිරි නාහිමිට තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Daughter of Vijita De Silva of Kendi. The next item in our program is message from where the Buddha preached his first sermon, Saranath, and combined with Mahabodhi, the Venerable Dr. K. Siri Thera of the Jambudvipa Vihara. The Venerable sir is a Sri Lankan, but now he's an Indian citizen, very respected person. I'm going to read his message because there are a lot of Dhamma connotations. English person may not be able to read it. Yeah? So we have to become practical. Yeah. Indulanka International Buddhist Association of Saranath, Jambudvipa, Sri Lanka, Bauddha Vihara. Message of felicitation, 50th Diksha Jayanti, that's how they say in Indian language. Our sister understands well, she's from India, Indian Buddhist sister. And behind her is my cousin's daughter, Mabel's daughter, and Mabel is Chitra Sompala's sister, a lost cousin whom I met after 40 years in England. Welcome. She's a Catholic, but she comes all the way. Is that your son?
No, my friend.
Huh?
My friend.
Oh, your friend. Okay, welcome. I don't know what's your name.
Shiva.
Shiva, welcome. Namah Shivaya. Venerable sir, 36 years in India. You can ask him anything about Lord Shiva. Okay, the message goes like this. It gives me immense pleasure and happiness for getting an opportunity to contribute a well-wishing on behalf of the Venerable Monks, Buddhist Temples Association situated sacred Saranath, the land of the Buddha, and where the Buddha's life have been spent, the first Vassana, like now we are doing the 3 months Vassana. Mulagundukuti Vihara was there, is there. Venerable Vimala was the deputy for many years until I got him down to this country, and he stayed with me 10 years and became a British citizen, who is now the Letchworth Vihara head. I'm glad all these connections come back.
the message goes, Venerable Sumana Siri Thera is highly respected by his followers and associates. He has completed 57 years as a monk ordination. During this long span period, his religious, social, education, and other public activities are highly appreciated by the world Buddhist community. Venerable Thera, who has rendered invaluable service as a Buddhist monk, is so much fortunate to have, I am so much, he should say, fortunate to have his being born in Malaysia, neighboring to Singapore, where his parents and citizens live. He works hard to achieve the social and political and economic stability, ensuring racial and religious harmony. After working hard with devotion to develop his monastic education in Sri Lanka and research in India, in much of his activities in Europe, is following the Bodhisattva Anagarika Dharampala's path, and he took the message like the Amarapala throughout the world, and he is now progressing well while he is celebrating his 57th monkhood anniversary. Dr. Sumana Siri Thera is possible to enlighten the general public on the teachings of the Buddha very well. I sincerely hope that it is proper to record here about his visit to the sacred land, India, Jambudvipa. 55 times I've been to India in 43 years, for your information. During the last 5 decades, over 50 times it's written here. Yes. And in Buddhist movements, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur, Mumbai, Maharashtra, and with academic institutes where he has given lectures in Indian culture and Buddhist philosophy. To the best of my knowledge, Bharat Mitra, that's how we call me, India's friend, Dhammaduta Dr. Dato Sumana Siri, is an able teacher, organizer, coordinator on matters concerned with Buddha Dhamma. On this August occasion, Dr. Sir Sumana Siri is celebrating his 57th monkhood, scheduled to be in the United Kingdom. Yes, it is in the United Kingdom. I wish him perfect health, happiness, and long life to serve Sri Sambuddha Sasana from Isipatana Deer Park. That is where the first preaching was done, where the Buddha preached the first sermon, Dhammacakka Sutta, and established Samma Sambuddha Sasana. And then he ends by saying, Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang, yours in the Dhamma, Venerable Dr. K. Siri Sumedha Thera, President, Indulanka International Buddhist Association, High Priest, Jambudvipa Sri Lanka Buddhist Vihara, Saranath, Varanasi. He was formerly the Assistant Secretary to the Mahabodhi for about 20 years. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this message from Reverend Dr. K. Kahavatte Siri Sumedha Thera. Next, our item will be a message from Venerable Dalayaya Piyadasi Nayaka Thera, Agamaha Pandita, member of the British Empire. I call upon Paul to come forward and read that message. Message from
Sri Saddhatissa International Buddhist Center. Sri Saddhatissa International Buddhist Center. The Tipitaka scholar and erudite academic monk, the most venerable Sumana Siri, Nayaka Thera of Singapore, is a unique personality in many ways. He is an exemplary character whom the Sri Lankan monastics are able to uphold as a model monk. Fluent in English and Sinhalese, he is an eloquent communicator of the Dhamma in both languages with many higher degrees to his name, having also been granted numerous awards by many organizations. Yet the Bhante I know is a humble individual, which is the nature of a truly learned person. He has earned the respect of the ecclesiastic fraternity of the world. The service he is rendering to the Buddhist community cannot be put into words. I wish the most venerable Sumana Siri, Nayaka, Thera a long, successful and healthy life. Best wishes, yours faithfully.
Thank you, Mr. Paul, who is a member of Letchworth Dhamma Nikethanaya and Letchworth Buddhist Vihara, a practicing English Buddhist, for reading out that message. The next item will be our guest speaker today, Professor Emeritus T.S. Abeywickrame, an ex-lawyer, a poet, an astrologer, whatnot. You also went to the United Nations conference with me, the World Philosophers Meet, and with Venerable 1997. It's been many years back. Mr. Abeywickrame is known to me for 31 years in this country. His wife was also a lawyer. So after his wife passed away, he has only his daughter. And then he's retired and he's doing great yeoman service by speaking the Buddha's words daily to hundreds of people in the globe. Please welcome and take your seat. And you can start first in English, then in Sinhalese, so that our Sinhalese crowd will also cater to.
Says, first I pay homage to the Buddha. Buddha is not a person, but a being. There is a Buddhahood in every one of us, because we are all going to be enlightened one day and attain Nibbana. Where there is Nibbana, there is a Buddhahood. Where there is a Buddhahood, there is Nibbana. That means when you are enlightened, you realize the supreme bliss of Nirvana. And you can experience the supreme bliss of Nirvana only when you are enlightened. Today I am very happy. I have to speak about an enlightened monk. Not enlightened in the common sense of the word. He is, according to my experience, is Dato Sotapan. Born enlightened. He became a monk officially at the age of 11, 57 years back. And 57 is a very significant number according to numerology. 7 is called a lucky 7. And number 5 is between 1 and 9, in between, the middle number. According to numerology, it has no incompatible number. Every number other than 5 has a number that is called enemy, incompatible. When there is number 5, when number 5 is one's own Vedic number at birth, he is compatible with anybody. I see that tendency in Reverend Sumana Siri. And there is another significance. You don't get a name accidentally. The name Sumana Siri means, Sumana means good mind, good mentality, excellent mentality. Siri means the splendor, and he symbolizes the splendor of an enlightened mind. In Nathan Sutta, there is a saying made by the Buddha, Sabbaya Bhuta Sumana Bhavantu. The Pali word bhuta means incident, happening. Bhavati means happens. Bhuta means what has happening. Incident. Mana means measurement. Correct measurement. That means everything is composed in the proper proportion. And such a mind is endowed with Reverend Sumana Siri, because I said he became a monk at the age of 11 because he had a previous birth tradition of leading the path of the Buddha. Now, just few minutes, Reverend Vimal, one of the great friend of Reverend Sumana Siri, told me that he has, Reverend Vimal, his practice in life is renouncing everything, detachment, not getting attached to anything. Similarly, I see Reverend Sumana Siri is detached from all attachments. Buddha once said in the Drona Sutta, when the Brahmin called Drona asked him whether you are a deity, no. Whether you are a devil, no. Whether you are a human being, no. Who are you? I am a Buddha. When he asked, who is Buddha? Then he did the same. I am like a lotus. Lotus is generated in the muddy water, grows up in the muddy water, gets sustenance from the muddy water, but get blossomed, detached from the water. Similarly, I live in this society. I was born in this society. I was brought up in this society. And I'm sustained by this society. But I live detached from the society. That is what Reverend Vimala told me. My practice is detachment. And that detachment is inborn in Reverend Sumana Siri. He is, according to my knowledge, one of the most learned Buddhist monks living in England, in Europe, and in America, in the Western country. But he never shows that he is such a learned person, because he is not attached to the knowledge, because he is guided by wisdom. Wisdom is inborn. Knowledge comes from outside. And in his life, he has academic qualification. I think he has his first degree in Sri Lanka, Vidya Lanka.
Buddhist philosophy, Western philosophy.
Buddhist philosophy. And he studied theology and made research on theology. In the Oxford University.
Medical science and law as well.
Medical. And he's a doctor, really doctor. Homeopathy doctor. He can sing. He's a very good singer, musician, a Buddhist monk. He's an all-round person.
I'm a singer because I'm cousin of P.L. Somapal.
Yeah.
And the niece is here, P.L. Somapal, at the back.
And he's a down-to-earth, practical Buddhist monk, a monk of the world, not following, not attached to tradition. He followed the tradition only on a limited level, but detached from it. He's very independent in his thinking. In fact, today seems to be a very lucky day. Mr. Sarat Dedigama, who brought me in his car, told me his son is an expert in computer science. Because I suggested him, when he lives here, it is not necessary to talk about him, because my experience, my ideas, to know who Reverend Sumana Siri, we must have a Buddhist discussion with him. He is an expert, academic expert, as also practical spiritual expert, not through meditation. He's not trying to be enlightened, but he's enlightened. He's not searching for enlightenment. As long as you make an effort to be enlightened, you can never get enlightened, because when you make an effort, the selfishness is there, the desire is there. The ignorance that you can be enlightened by an effort, his enlightenment is effortless, natural. He leads a natural life. Although as a Buddhist monk, he used to wear the Buddhist robe, but inside the Buddhist robe, there's a human being, a practical human being, a down-to-earth human being. And that is real Buddhism. His Buddhism is called realism.
Yeah, Buddhism is a realism.
He's a realistic Buddhist, not an idealistic Buddhist. Ideals are hopes. Ideals are dreams. Ideals with regard to the unborn future, based on the dead past, but he's living in the living present. I have learned a poem called Psalm of Life, written by the American poet called Wordsworth. I can remember some words in it. Think not of future, however present. Don't dream of future. Let the dead past bury its dead. The past is dead. Act in the living present. Heart within, good heart within, and God overhead. God will look after you. That is the life he spent. The same idea was spoken by the Buddha in one of the sutras, when a deity asked him that your disciples live in my forest, in the forest where I live, but they are brilliant with the splendor. They are more, no, we are made of splendor. But your disciples, they have only one meager meal a day. But they have very brilliant body, lightened, full of light, full of enlightenment. What is the secret of this? He says, Atitan nanu so chanti. They are not worried about the dead past. Nappa jappa managatan. They are not dreaming about the unborn future. Pachuppannena yapenti. They live in the present moment. Similarly, Reverend Sumana Siri also follow the same tradition of living in the present moment and lead the practical life. And what I suggest, because Reverend Samita is an expert in computer, but when I told him why not to start some kind of Zoom discussion. I know there are computer discussions conducted in different parts of the world. For example, what's called computer Skype discussions. There's a center in some Buddhists living in Australia. They regularly have discussions through Skype throughout the world. And I know a center in France, one of my friends conducting it through Skype. throughout the world. And they are sent in Sri Lanka, conducting Buddhist discussions throughout the world through Skype. Now, the latest technology, Zoom discussion. Now, this discussion is a Zoom discussion. And Reverend Sumana Siri has taught the first letters to the son of Mr. Sarat Dadigama. He told me he's a computer expert. Then I can arrange some Zoom meetings every month, highlighting the academic and the spiritual capacity of Reverend Sumana Siri. මහා සංඝරත්නයේ අවසරයි සම්භාවනීය පින්වත්නි සිංහලුත් වචන කීපයක් කතා කරන්නයි ආරාධනාවක් තියෙන්නේ විනාඩි 5කට සුමන සිරි හාමුදුරුවෝ මම දන්නේ වයස 11දී ලංකාව පුරාම ප්‍රසිද්ධයි සිංහල හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් වයස 11ක පුදුම විදිහට චතුර විදිහට ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් බණ කියනවා කියලා. ඒකට හේතුව මම හිතනවා මදර් ටං ඉපදෙනකොටම පවුලේ හැමෝම කතා කරන ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්. සිංගප්පූරුවේ ඉපදෙන්නේ. ඉංග්‍රීසි විතරක් නෙමෙයි. සිංගප්පූරුවේ වැඩි දෙනෙක් ඉන්නේ චීන භාෂාව කතා කරන පුළුවන්.
මහත්මයා ආවනේ මගේ පන්සලට.
ඔව් පන්සලට තමයි ගම්වලට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන නෑදෑයත් හම්බෙලා තියෙන ඒවත් මම ඉඳලා තියෙනවා. ඊළඟට ඒ කාලේ විදිහට කාලේ සිංගප්පූරුව මැලේසියාවට අයිතිකද මැලේ භාෂාවත් පුළුවන් මට.
ජාතික භාෂාව මගේ.
ජාතික භාෂාව.
මාතෘ භාෂාව සිංහල. ජාතික භාෂාව
සිංහලෙන් කතා කරනවා.
සිංගප්පූරුවේ මැලේසියාවේ.
ප්‍රංශ භාෂාව කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. මයිකේ භාෂා ගණනාවක් චතුරව කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. අන්නේ ඒ වගේ ආධුනිකයෙක් අද මේ යුගයේට හරි වැදගත්. මම ඒකයි දදිග මහත්තයාට කිව්වේ මේ ආධුනිකයෙක් තියෙන පුළුවන්කාරකම් දක්ෂතා. මේ යුගයේට දැන් අපි මේ කොවිඩ් වසංගතයෙන් පස්සේ උදා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේ මැටීරියල් ශිෂ්ටාචාරයේ තියෙන භෞතික ශිෂ්ටාචාරය භෞතික බලයෙන් පොහොසත් වෙච්ච රටවල් වලට නේද කොවිඩ් ඇමරිකාවට එංගලන්තයට යුරෝපයට කඩින් බලපාලා තියෙන්නේ නොඑක් අනාවගේ කියනවා කවදා හරි කේන්ද්‍රස්ථානයේ බවට පත් වෙන ආචාර්ය ක්ලාස් කියලා තියෙනවා 2050 වෙනකොට ලෝකයේම තියෙන එකම ආගම මේ බුද්ධ ආගම කියන්නේ ආගමක් නෙවෙයි දර්ශනයක්. අන්තිම ඉතිරින බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දර්ශන විතරේ අද වෙනකම් අවුරුදු 2600 ගණන් ගිහිල්ලා බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කියපු එක දෙයක්වත් අද කිසිම කෙනෙකුට ජගතික වෙනස් කරන්න බැරිලා තියෙනවා. පරම සත්‍ය ඇත්ත දේශනා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඒ ඇත්ත අද ලෝකයේ ගැළපෙන විදිහට මම හිතන විදිහට සමහර විට සුමන සිරි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ දන්නේ නැතුව ඇති. සුමන කියන්නේ යහපත් මනස. යහපත් මනසක මේ සිරිය තමයි උන්වහන්සේ ගාව තියෙන්නේ. සබ්බේ භූතා සුමනා භවන්තු කියන හැම භූතකයන් සිද්ධිය. හැම සංසිද්ධියක්ම නියම මට්ටමට නියම මිම්මට සිද්ධ වෙනවා. මන කියන්නේ මිම්මට. අන්නේ මිම්මෙන්. හැබැයි සුමනතිර ආදරයේ මිම්ම සම්ප්‍රදායික මිම්මක් නෙවෙයි. මම කියන්නේ ප්‍රායෝගික ආදුර කෙනෙක්. මේ යුගයේ ගැලපෙන ආදුර කෙනෙක්. ඒ දැන් අලුතෙන් ඉනවනේ දීසේනගේ පණිවිඩයක් රාවණාගේ යුගයක් උදා වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ. ඈ ඒ මේ ලෝකේ පවතින අදිස්මන් බුද්ධ කියන්නේ පුද්ගලෙක් නෙවෙයි. බුද්ධ භාවයේ තියෙන සනාතන ධර්මතාවයක්. නිවන කියන එක නෙවෙයි. හැමතැනකම තියෙන දෙයක්. සාන්දිට්ඨිය කියන්නේ ඕන වෙලාවක දකින්න පුළුවන්. දැන් බුද්ධ ධර්ම කියන එක. එහිපත්ති කියන්නේ ඉම කියලා ඉමන් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ එහි කියන්නේ ඒකේ ආධාරී භක්ති බොහෝචනේ. මේ මෙතනයි කියලා කියන්නේ බල ඕන දැනගන්න. අකාලිකයි ඒක කාලයක් නෑ. beyond time dimension. අනන්තම් beyond space dimension. මේ ලෝකෙ මිමි වලට අයුවෙන්නේ නැති ධර්මයක්. අනේ ධර්මයේ පිළිබඳ ලෝකයට අවබෝධයක් ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. හොඳ විග්‍රහයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එකම වික්ෂුන් වහන්සේ මම ගන්න සුමන්ති ආදිලෝ වාසක් ගන්නාට. ඒ නිසා මම විනාඩි 5 ඉවරයි. සියලු දෙනාටම අයිති වෙනවා. මගේ ආරාධනාව තියෙන්නේ මේ සුමන්ති ආදිලගේ තියෙන උපම් හැකියාවන්ගෙන් ලබාගෙන තියෙන හැකියාවන්ගෙන් ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න Zoom මාර්ගයෙන් හරි Skype මාර්ගයෙන් හරි සාකච්ඡා මාලාවක් ලෝකේ පුරා පැතිරෙන විදිහට ආරම්භ කරන්න මම හිතනවා සර්වදෙවිග මහත්තයා පුතත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා මේ වැඩි පිළිවෙල කරයි සිංහලෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනත් භාෂා අලුත් කරන්න පුළුවන් එහෙනම් හරි එහෙනම් බොහොම ස්තුතියි කියලා දෙනාටම සවන් දීමට
Venerable says, sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, the Venerable Piyaratana don't seem to be there now because it's late night in Sri Lanka. Yeah, he's supposed to speak on behalf of the Ramani Nikaya, but Venerable Siri Sumedha from Benares is from the Ramani Nikaya. Yeah. We will now call upon our Venerable U Uttara of Sasana Rangsi Buddha Vihara in Colindale, who is a social activist, who works for Burma, who works for Buddhism, and who is the spokesperson Buddhist monk in Europe for Aung San Suu Kyi. Venerable Uttara, you can speak now by Zoom.
Thank you. I respectfully and all Bande and especially today, I'm very grateful to speak for Bande Sumana Siri. I know you is a very long time ago, since 1995, I think. I'm sure today is your Babija is today is 57, so you are 1 year older than me. It's, because when I was 8 years old, I became a novice, and then now I'm 64, so I'm now 56. You are 57, so very long hard job, and I since I know you are work very hard for Buddha Sasana, and also you involve many the humanitarian and activity, and especially like Burma, the human rights campaign, and also you help many like a speech and like a talk on many events I saw, and then your program, and also you are very hard job for your missionary and Europe and America and also China and of course and Singapore, Malaysia as well. So it's not very easy for monkhood. Is that you have to maintain your job, and also you work hard for Dhamma talk, and also your practice what Buddha talk, and then it is not very easy. When people say, "Oh, if you are nothing to do, you become a monk," but the monk is monk life is very typical to is practice. I know, and I know more than you. So you are 57 years. You have many experience about the Buddhism life and other Buddhism and then practice, and also community, and as well as a non-Buddhist people, you are contact, and you have a multi-faith meeting. So I'm very grateful to you as your missionary work, and also you are the you spread of Buddha Sasana in a Buddha teaching of like a meditation or philosophy, any kind of Buddha teaching and the background. So today is I'm sure you will be long life and more healthy and more successful. You are working for Buddha Sasana. This is one of we aim to achieve nirvana. So before nirvana, we achieve nirvana peace, and we have to hard work like a Bodhisattva and Sumedha. And Sumedha is ascetic is in many million years, and he practiced when become enlightenment or becoming a Buddha. So we think, and the Buddha's teaching is like the same as you are working, and your work and your job and you and anything else when Buddha teaches and you teach. So I wish you, may you long life and well, good happiness and all and happiness and peace, and also you progress of your missionary or Buddha Sasana. Thank you very much, Pandey.
Thank you very much, Venerable Uttara Mengala Bhava. Now we will give Venerable Beragama Thera, who was a law student and who has written a text on crime and punishment in Buddhism. And he was one of the advisors to the Sri Lanka curriculum education in the Sri Lankan government department, speaks good English, speaks good Sinhalese, understands Pali Sanskrit, and also Japanese. Venerable Piyaratana, please.
Good evening, Venerable Sirs, Venerable members of Mahasangha, and distinguished guests, and dear friends in Dhamma. It is great pleasure for me to share some thoughts and ideas while I met Venerable, Most Venerable Tripitaka Vagiswaracharya, Chief Sangha of Europe and Great Britain, historian and sociologist, expert in 10 languages, Viharadhikari of Sri Lanka Rama Buddhist Temple in Singapore, Dr. Sumana Siri Mahathero. He is celebrating his 56th anniversary of being in Moonkhood. It is a great achievement in Buddha Sasana, more than half century, dedicating his life, sleeping very, very short hours for the benefit of the mankind, benefit of the Buddhists, benefit of the other religious dignitaries, religious communities. He is one of the most widely read Buddhist scholar in our time. He is one of the most respected Sangha patriarch for me. The great Venerable Mahathero, who is our main character in today's ceremony. He is very open-minded person with a liberal attitude. When I describe about our Thero, great Thero, I see two great qualities in him, which is also can be seen in Buddha's very life. He always smiles with everyone generously and genuinely, as Buddha says, Pubbahasi. And when he sees even a small samanera or even a small person, he talks to him or her and he smiles with them, Pubbabasi. Recently, he gave a very good motivational program and a speech and advices and guidance to our novices in Sri Lanka. He is an inspiration for us. Through the Zoom, this meeting made our little monks in Sri Lanka benefited immensely. So Venerable Thero also talked to many strangers without any hesitation. These great qualities attract many people in the international audience, belongs to many different social strata. He is open to any religion, any caste, any society. He has many spiritual friends from almost all the major religions in the world, famous Buddhist monks, Hindu swamis, Catholic bishops, Christian pastors, and many people from all walks of life from all over the world. Even though he is highly educated, yet he is very humble. It is the beauty of his character. Our most venerable Thera always shows us way whether we ask or not, directing us to new horizons, new countries, new opportunities, and encouraging us to study more, both languages and Buddhism. He introduces us to new people. I wish him all the best. I appreciate his openness and tolerance to any idea and any religion. May our great Thera live long, healthy, strong to serve the world more and more. I am indeed blessed to meet one of the greatest scholars like him. Thank you very much. Stay blessed during this pandemic. And we want you to live longer to serve the Buddha Sasana. So thank you very much, most venerable sirs and the distinguished guests. And I wish all the best for all of you.
For those kind words. Venerable Nikethanaya was also in the United Kingdom in Birmingham for a while, serving the Midlands and north of England. We will now go to Venerable Sumana Siri who lived in Singapore, who had his vihara there, and he's built a big center in Viagama, Kalaniya, near the sacred place, Kalinga Rajamaha Vihara. Sumana Siri.
So I'm very glad and consider myself to honor, fortunate and privileged to have got the opportunity to express my deepest appreciations to most venerable the Singapore Sumana Siri Nayaka Thera, who honored by Malaysia government with the Dato title, who is marks his 57th birthday today. We are physically away from the thanks for advancements forever progressing the Zoom technology. We are make our presence at this very special occasions to our Nayaka Thera, Dr. Sumana Siri. Has close associations of most venerable our Dr. Sumana Siri. I know him as a very brilliant and highly educated personality. A double doctorate, postgraduate. Yet is the very deep seated humility makes rooms for everyone to move with it at easy. He's born foreign country lands to Sri Lankan parents. I am proud to know that he's enjoy very deep rooted, connected to Sri Lankan soil. It is with great pleasure I recall the minds to time I have spent with him while serving in Singapore myself. The treasure memory of our association comes to my mind, but time does not permit it to elaborate them. In brief, I wish to state our most venerable Sumana Siri Nayaka Thera, highly educated. He is the man down to the earth, humble personality, He's very modest, simple, and his way that we make him a great friends. Everyone who has had the opportunity to move with him. May the triple gems grant Nayaka Thera the strength to continue the servings, the Buddha Sasana, for the many more years. The blessings of triple gems to help him to grow the wisdom and live in the good health and be happy although his life. May the joy, the serving the humanity to the best of the ability. I wish the happy birthday, Nayaka Hamdurun.
It's my happy birthday as a monk, but my real happy birthday was January.
Happy birthday, Moonkhood.
Yeah, 57 years of Moonkhood. Thank you very much, Venerable Sumana Siri.
Yeah.
Before I call Davide, our president of our Buddhist temple in Milan, my president actually, and my student before, a great artist and somebody who has read the entire sutras and the Vinaya and who understand Buddhism very well. I would like to, before that, give a message which has come from Pakistan and archaeologist, Dr. Fawad Khan. He says, "Dear Venerable Dr. Sumana Siri, you have proved that good things come to those who are willing to sacrifice to reach a worthwhile goal." He's a Muslim and he's a practicing archaeologist. Heartiest congratulations on your 57th year of monkhood. And Fawad Khan from Pakistan. I would now ask Davide Pulisi to say a few words on behalf of our Milan Buddhist members.
Venerable members of the Bhikkhu Sangha and dear friends in Dhamma abroad. On behalf of the Italian Buddhist community, I would like to extend my greetings for the 57th monkhood anniversary of the Reverend Dr. Dato Sumana Siri Nayaka Thera. And this is a very great opportunity for us to reflect on the generosity and kindness that the Reverend has put for all of us in preaching the Dhamma for our community in Italy for almost 30 years. And I like to say that it was a kind of unique opportunity for us to learn the Dhamma from such a qualified and generous teacher, which is not very easy to find in this world. And even now, even though we are far away physically, our group still have the memory and of what we have learned from the Reverend in those years. And I still remember when I have met him the first time in 1997. At that time, I was a member of the Tibetan Society in Milano, and the Reverend came to our city for a workshop, and I saw the poster on the inside the Tibetan temple, and I was surprised to see that there was a Theravada monk coming to Milano to preach the Dhamma. And shortly after, I went to visit his newly established temple, and I remember it was a great experience because the Reverend could preach the Dhamma in such a clever, profound, and direct way, which I never experienced before. And I remember that night the Reverend gave a talk on equanimity, upekkha, and he explained the concept of equanimity with various ways and by giving examples. And I remember that all of our Italian members were surprised to hear the Dhamma in such a brilliant and clear way, which was quite an unusual thing for us because we came from a different background. And since then, I became a student of him, and still now, after over 24 years, I'm still remembering his advices on how to study Buddhism, how to study the Sutra, and how to approach the Pali language and those things. And still now I have you can see maybe this is a booklet which was printed over 25 years ago in his temple. I'm still using as for my daily practicing is a Buddha Pooja in Pali and Italian language. And this always reminds me the concept of gratitude toward the teacher and the generosity in giving the Dhamma freely to everyone, regardless of race, religion, or castes, and so on. As being aware that, as the Buddha say, the gift of Dhamma excels of all other gifts. So in this way, again, on behalf of the Italian community and the Buddhist Realist Circle of Milano, I would like to extend my warm greetings and congratulations for the Reverend, and invite him to celebrate his 60th, perhaps, Moonkhood anniversary with us in Italy when all this pandemic will be over and we'll be more free to move and travel again. So thank you very much, and Namo Buddhaya.
Very much, Davide. Now we will turn to a message from Germany. Venerable Dr. Ramukwelle Devananda Thera has sent a message in Sinhalese language. The Reverend Kusala Thera of Surya will read it out.
Acharya Ramukwelle Sri Buddharakshita Devananda Nayaka Hamran Wahanse visin එවන්නට යෙදුණු සමරු පණිවිඩය පූජ්‍ය ගරු ආචාර්ය සිංගප්පූරුවේ සුමන සිරි නායක ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේගේ පැවිදි ජීවිතයට වසර 57ක් පිරීම නිමිත්තෙන් අපගේ හෘදයාංගම සුභාසිංසනය පිරිනමනු කැමැත්තෙමි. පුරා වසර 57ක් තිස්සේ අපනායක ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේ අතින් සිදු කෙරුණු ලෝක ශාසනික සේවාව ඉමහත්ය. එය ඇගයීමට ලක් කිරීම ප්‍රශංසා කළ යුතුය. මෙම ලෝක ශාසනික සේවාව තවදුරටත් සිදු කරගෙන යාමට තෙරුවන් සරණින් නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුවය හා ශක්තිය ලැබේවායි ඉටසිතින් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමි. මීට ආචාර්ය රඹුක්වැල්ලේ ශ්‍රී බුද්ධරක්ෂිත දේවානන්ද නාහිමි සද්ධර්ම කීර්ති ශ්‍රී භාෂාන්තර විසරද ශ්‍යාමෝපාලි මහාවංශික මහානිකායේ මල්වතු පාර්ශවයේ ජර්මනියේ සමත බල සම්පන්න ප්‍රධාන සංඝනායක තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Thank you, Reverend Kusala, for reading out the message from Germany. I have served Germany more than 100 days in the last 20 years, doing seminars at the Buddhist Gesellschaft Union, plus the Berlin Vihara and many other areas. In fact, my first leg to Europe was Hamburg University. That was in 1993. And then I came to Europe and saw Europe. And I gave a paper on Immanuel Kant in a German philosopher in Germany. I was only about 30 years old that time. Now we have a message from our Hindu leader from Malaysia. This is a message from Mr. B. Jagadisan, who is the judicial chairman of the Hare Krishna Hare Rama group in Malaysia. And he says like this: he's known me for about 30
35 years. Congratulations, His Holiness Reverend Dato Dr. Sumana Siri, on the occasion of your honorable 57th anniversary of being a monk. I have the privilege to know of you, of your humble, selfless, untiring services for all communities, irrespective of race, because he's Tamil Hindu, creed, rich or poor, and your profound teachings of Lord Buddha universally for all mankind to live in this world harmoniously. I wish you the blessings of Lord Buddha, which is grand, and many more years of goodness of life accomplishments. Best regards ever. B. Jagadisan of Malaysia. We will now go to our next guest speaker. Our next guest speaker is Mr. Vidya Amarapala. Mr. Vidya Amarapala is an engineer who is doing his Ph.D. in aeronautics, in the field of aeronautics. He was an engineer student in Indian universities, and then he did his master's in the United Kingdom as well. Mr. Vidya is, by practice, a member of the World Congress of Renewable Energy. He was also chairman of the Electricity Board of Sri Lanka, which was the only time that the Electricity Board made money. Always it was at a loss. And his last official duties was advisor to Minister Champika Ranawaka, the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development. And he served there for a while and came to the United Kingdom. We welcome him in the United Kingdom. He's a new friend. He doesn't know much about me. Only a few months ago, we became friends. Yes, Vidya, the mic to you.
Namo Buddhaya. Venerable Mahasangha, Venerable Dr. Dato Sumana Siri, and Venerable Vimala Thero, Venerable Pavru Kannala Rajamaha Vihara Chief Incumbent, Venerable Samita Thero, Venerable Kusala Thero, all those venerable sirs were introduced to me by Dr. Dato Sumana Siri Thero. And let me first of all wish Venerable Dr. Dato Sumana Siri all the best in your all future endeavors, and many more years or many more celebrations to come. And let me, with your permission and the permission of the distinguished Dhamma friends, I would like to share screen, and I assure you that I will not take much time. Even though I was given 15 to 20 minutes, I shall make it short, as the time has elapsed quite a bit, especially in the Far East and in our part of the world, in Sri Lanka. Right. I would like to start with the first slide. And Professor Abeywickrame was talking about the lotus flower, and I'm perhaps wondering whether he has seen my slide before I put it up in the presentation. And he went on to explain why the lotus flower is so much affiliated to our lives in Sri Lanka as Buddhist, and the lotus flower affiliation to most of our cultures across Asia. And he explained that in depth. Therefore, I shall take the privilege of moving to the next slide. my brief presentation is going to be contained to 3 points. Education, the professional affiliations, and religious and professional engagements of Venerable Dato Sumana Siri. To briefly touch upon the subject of education, I would like to limit it to 3, just like the triple gem. And he obtained his Bachelor's of Arts from the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. And then he went on to obtain postgraduate diploma from the University of Oxford here in the UK. And he has obtained his Ph.D. from the Vietnam Buddhist University, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And I shall move on to the next item, as there are several education achievements that he has achieved so far in his life. Let me take on the professional affiliations. The Asian Dialogue Society, the think tank in Singapore, which is very close to my heart because I was introduced to Reverend Dr. Dato Sumana Siri by a diplomat whom I knew for quite a long time, who is affiliated to the Asian Dialogue Society, introduced me to Venerable Sir. And then he's also involved in International Association of Historians of Asia. And he is a historian by himself. And then International Association for the History of Religion, and British Institute of Homeopathy, and American Neuropathic Medical Association USA, Oxford Union, Oxford Society, International Academic in Social Science, ICRA National University, Peshawar, Pakistan. I will come to the last slide and talk why I was making these points here in my presentation. And then I would like to take you through some of his religious and professional engagements. In Singapore, of course, his where he holds his nationality, and then the Malaysia, where he was conferred with the title of Dato by the king. And this is something to be noted. The Dato title usually is conferred upon the Malays. And may I use the word Bhumiputra? And our Venerable Dato Dr. Sumana Siri has convinced the Malaysian government beyond doubt that he has been a true servant of Kingdom of Malaysia. And then I would like to come to India, where he was awarded with a great title called Glory of India. And usually this title is awarded to the great sons of India. And I'm proud to say, plays on record, excuse me, it's just a wrong touch. Glory of India is usually awarded to great sons of India. So again, our Reverend Sir has performed to such an extent that he was awarded with a title which usually not awarded to a non-Indians. And he has also established great relationships with countries like China, United Kingdom, Germany, USA, Canada, Italy, Pakistan, and Vietnam, of course, where he obtained his Ph.D. And I would like to leave you with this thought and my final slide without going into explain what it is. And why I went through some of those points in my previous slides is to emphasize the fact that our Venerable Dr. Dato Sumana Siri has been a rare monk, a Buddhist monk, who has freely and fearlessly worked with all other religious groups in our part of the world, in Asia, and rest of the world. He has very closely associated and worked with, of course, Buddhists all around, then Catholics, leaders, Christian leaders, Muslim or Islam leaders, and obviously the Hindu leaders. And he has been working with countries like China, India, Pakistan, Malaysia, and so on and so forth. I put up the list in one of my previous slides. And that demonstrates his commitment to the world peace and understanding among the other religious groups, which is lacking, I would say hugely, humongously lacking in the world today. And that understanding is the key to the peace throughout the world. The peace will prevail with your knowledge and your relationship. And may I now take the privilege of wishing Dr. Venerable Dato Sumana Siri Thera long life, and may we be privileged to take part in your future felicitation ceremonies in time to come. Buddha Saranai.
Thank you very much, Vidya Amarapala. Your speech has given me renewable energy of which you are a specialist. I thank you once again. We will now shift to a very different dimension. We are all suffering from the fear, the phobia of the pandemic. Buddha's application of the Bojjhanga Sutta and similar suttas like Girimananda Sutta are healing sutras. Healing sutras are not only found in Theravada Buddhism, it is found very much more in Mahayana Buddhism, Chinese, and also in Tibetan Buddhism. Symbolically, today, on this sacred day, we are going to wish global pandemic corona COVID-19 or 12, is it 19? 19. To get out of this world. What the Buddha has said, even when the Buddha was sick, these Bojjhanga Sutras were preached to him, and then he came out of his sickness. He was down with sickness because he had a human body. Buddhism is humanism. Buddhism is realism. You have to understand that. Yeah. Though he could have subdued from his psychic powers, he didn't do that. Yeah. Very much down toward Buddha. So now I would like to ask Venerable Veurukandla Mahavihara incumbent monk who is here with us as President Monks, Brother Monks, to give some remarks in Sinhala about, as a preface, before we chant the Maha Kassapa Bojjanga Sutta.
ගෞරවනීය ආන්දරන් වහන්සේ පින්නතුනි අද දින පැවිදි දිවියේ 57 වෙනි සංවත්සරය සමරන සිංගප්පූරුවේ ආචාර්ය සුමන සිරි නායක ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේට ආශිර්වාදාත්මකව ගිහි මාතෘ එවැගේම පැවිදි පක්ෂයේ අපේ හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේලාත් උන්වහන්සේගේ සේවාව අගයමින් විවිධ දේශන කතා පැවැත්වුවා. තවදුරටත් මේ පිළිබඳව විස්තර කරන්නට අප සූදානම් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. උන්වහන්සේට මේ මොහොතේ ආශිර්වාද කිරීමයි සිද්ධ කළ යුත්තේ. උන්වහන්සේ කරන මේ ලෝක ශාසනික සේවාව තවදුරටත් සිද්ධ කිරීමට චිරජීවනයේ නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් මේ පිරිත් දේශනාවක් සිදු කිරීමටයි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. පිරිත කියලා කියන්නේ හැම අතින්ම අපට ආරක්ෂාව ලබා දෙන ධර්ම කොටාසයක්. අදෘශ්‍යමාන බලවේග මගින් අපේ ජීවිතයට එල්ල වී තිබෙන දුක් බය රෝග කියන විපත්ති සමනය කළා සම්පත්තීන් උදා කර ගැනීමට අවශ්‍ය ධර්ම ශක්තිය පිරිත් දේශනාවලින් ලබා ගන්නට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙනවා. මේ පිරිත් දේශනාවල තුනුරුවන්ගේ බලයයි ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් අඩංගු වෙන්නේ. ඊට අතිරේකව සත්‍යක්‍රියාවේ බලය අඩංගු වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මෛත්‍රියේ බලය ප්‍රකාශ වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ධර්මයේ බලය අඩංගු වෙනවා. ඒ ශාන්තිමය දේශනාව ශ්‍රවණය කිරීම තුළින් අපට කායික නිරෝගීතාවයත් මානසික නිරෝගීතාවයත් ලබා ගන්නට පුළුවන්. විශේෂ වශයෙන් දේශනා කරනු ලබන මේ බුද්ධංග සූත්‍ර දේශනාව අපේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ රෝගී වෙච්ච අවස්ථාවේ ඒ වගේම මහා කාශ්‍යප හාමුදුරුවෝ මහා මොග්ගල්ලාන හාමුදුරුවෝ තුන්ද හාමුදුරුවෝ ඒ වගේම ගිරිමානන්ද හාමුදුරුවෝ රෝගී වෙච්ච අවස්ථාවේ මේ බොජ්ජංග සූත්‍ර දේශනාවන් ශ්‍රවණය කළා නිරෝගී බව ලබා ගන්නයි කියන එක අපේ ධර්මයේ සඳහන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ බොජ්ජංග සූත්‍ර දේශනාව කියලා කියන්නේ අපේ කායික මානසික නිරෝගීතාවයට හේතු වන උතුම් සූත්‍ර දේශනාවන්. ඒ බොජ්ජංග සූත්‍ර දේශනාවන් අතුරින් එක සූත්‍ර දේශනාවක් දේශනා කරන්නටයි මේ මොහොතේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. බොජ්ජංග කියලා කියන්නේ බෝධි අංග කියන එකයි. අපේ බෝධිය කියලා කියන්නේ අවබෝධය නිර්වාණය අවබෝධ කර ගැනීමට හේතු වන ධර්ම කොටස් තමයි මේ සූත්‍ර දේශනාවන් වල සඳහන් වෙන්නේ. අන්නේ සූත්‍ර දේශනාවන් වල අඩංගු වෙන ධර්ම ශක්තිය ධර්මයේ බලය අපේ ජීවිතය තුළ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙලා මුළු ලෝකයටම උදා වෙලා තියෙන ඒ රෝග බිය තුරන් වෙලා හැම දිනකටම නිරෝගී සුවය ලබා ගැනීමට මේ ධර්මයේ ශක්තිය මෙලොව ජීවිතයට ආශිර්වාදයක් වේවා. විශේෂ වශයෙන් අද ආශිර්වාදයේ ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන සිංගප්පූරුවේ ආචාර්ය සුමන සිරි නායක හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ ඇතුළු මේ පින්කමට සහභාගී වෙන ගෞරවනීය ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේලාත් ඒ වගේම ගිහි පින්නතුණුත් ඒ වගේම මේ සූම් තාක්ෂණයෙන් සහභාගී වෙන මේ සියලුම දෙනාට ඒ චිරජීවනයේ නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවය උදා කර ගැනීමට සියලු සිතුම් පැතුම් බලාපොරොත්තුන් සඵල කර ගැනීමට අපේ සුමන සිරි නායක හාමුදුරන්ට ඒ ලෝක ශාසනික සේවාව තවදුරටත් ඉදිරියට කර ගැනීමට ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය මේ පුණ්‍ය ශක්තිය තුළින් උදා කර ගැනීමට හේතු වාසනා වේත් ශක්තිය ලැබේවා කියන අදහසින් යුක්තව ගෞරවනීය මහා සංඝරත්නය මෙතෙන් සිට මේ බොජ්ජංග සූත්‍ර දේශනාව දේශනා කරන හැම දිනම ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් යුක්තව ඒ ධර්මයේ ශ්‍රවණය කරන්නට සූදානම් වෙන්නේ.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Evaṁ me sutaṁ ekam samayam bhagava rajagahe viharati veluvane kalandaka nivape tena kopana samayena ayasma mahakasyapo Peliguhayam viharati abadiko dukkito balagilano ateko bhagava sayan samayam patisallana buddhito yena yasma mahakasyapo tenupasankami Panyatte asane nisidi nisajjako bhagava ayasmantam mahakassepang etadavota kaccite kassepa kamaniyang kacciyapaniyang kaccidukka vedana patikkamantino abhikkamanti patikkamosanan panyayatino abhikkamoti nami pante kamaniyang nayapaniyang balami dukkha vedana abhikkamantino patikkamanti abhikkamosanan panyayatino patikkamoti satti me kassapa bojjanga maya sammadakata bhavita bahuli kata abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattanti katami sati sambojjango kokassepa maya sammadakkato bhavito bahulikato abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattati Dhamma vichaya sambojjango kokassepa maya sammadakkato bhavito bahulikato abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattati viriya sambojjango kokassepa maya sammadakkato bhavito bahulikato abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattati piti sambojjango kokassepa maya sammadakkato bhavito bahulikato abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattati Massadi sambojjango kokassepa maya sammadakkato bhavito bahulikato abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattati samadhi sambojjango kokassepa maya sammadakkato bhavito bahulikato abhinyaya sambodhaya nibbanaya sangvattati upekka sambojjango kokassepa maya
සම්මදක්කාතු භාවිතෝ බෞලීකතෝ අවිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති ඉමේකෝ කස්සප සත්ත බොජ්ජංගා මයා සම්මදක්කාතා භාවිතා බෞලීකතා අවිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තන්ති තග්ග භගව බොජ්ජංගා තග්ග සුගත බොජ්ජංගාති ඉදම වෝච භගවා අත්තමනෝ ආයස්මා මහා කස්සපෝ භගවතෝ වාසිතං අභිනන්දී මුට්ටායි ඡායස්මා මහා කස්සපෝ තම්මා ආබාධා තථාපහිනෝ ඡායස්මතෝ මහා කස්සපස්ස සෝ ආබාධෝ අහෝසීති ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සම්පිතේ හෝතු සබ්බදා ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන තේ හෝතු සබ්බදා ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සොත්තිතේ හෝතු සබ්බදා තියෝ විවජ්ජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවත්වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සම්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති
Sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, we are almost coming to the end. Stay with us for another 7-8 minutes. It's now time that from a Catholic country, Hungary, we have received Dr. Eva Blenesi, who is a sociologist. She says, "Congrats, dear Dr. Sumana Siri, wishing you lots of great fulfillment." We want to thank Dr. Eva Blenesi for her kindness in sending the message. From the United Kingdom, one of the Bandaranayaka family people have sent a message. That is Nishanta Bandaranayaka, who lives in Pittsburgh, medical doctor, and the wife, her name is Piching, Chinese, Sri Lankan Chinese. They live there. Both of them are medical doctors. Mr. Nishanta Bandaranayaka's message goes like this. Congratulations, Piching and I wish you the very best of health for you to continue spreading the Buddha Dhamma. I shall make a point to the celebrations via Zoom. We are keeping well. We have restricted our international travels because of COVID. We are hoping that the COVID crisis will be hopefully minimized so that we can resume our travels. This is why we chanted the Bojjhanga Sutta, the angas, the factors of enlightenment. Thiruvan Saranai, Nishanta Bandaranayaka. Thank you very much. We also have messages from Cayman Islands, the Caribbean. We also have messages from India, much more, and Singapore, Malaysia. We are not going to read all that. Sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, thank you very much for staying with us. Now it is the time for all these good actions done by our mind actions, our physical actions, and our vocal actions. Let us now do the transference of merits, Punyadumodana, in a traditional way by reciting Idammi Nyatinang Hotu Sukitavantu Nyatyo. That means we transfer merits to all our relatives. But in particular, about 2 weeks ago, I lost my cousin sister. She's half Chinese, half Japanese, half Sinhalese. Her father was Mr. Tepanis,
Piris, and then the mother was Nyo Ching, Chinese born, Baba Nyonya lady, and her name is Chandravati the Silva. She lived 101 years. Chinese count the month they came to the womb as well, so it will be 102 years. But I think I want to live 120 years. That's my target, no matter what. Yes. Many people have wished me good luck and good health and all that. So let us now transfer merits to all our relatives, in particular Chandravati the Silva, who passed away about 2 weeks ago. I will do the 1 month prayer some other day. Thank you very much for participating, sisters and brothers in the Dhamma. Professor T.S. Abeywickrame to give a splendid on-the-spot talk in 2 languages. And you've been very kind to me. And we are both realists, isn't it? So, yeah, no problem. And our friend from Romania, Virgilio Ceres, Sister Neelam from India, but living here in the United Kingdom. My cousin daughter, Chitra Somapala's niece, so she becomes my niece also. She's a Catholic girl, my age now. That is Lilanti, who comes from originally Maravilla, Sri Lanka. The father was L.M. Pereira, who was in the prison with N.M. Pereira. They were Samaja Party people, highly political, highly respected doctor, her father. And the mother was Sunil Santa's fan. Sunil Santa and my cousin brother P.L. Sompala, they all worked together. We all in the same circle. I found her finally after 48 years in London. So sometimes when you don't have human communication, you meet your own people, don't meet. I met one boy here, Lahiru, my Surya Bapa's son. I didn't go to Sri Lanka for 28 years, so I couldn't meet him there. Then I met him here all of a sudden. So it's like that. Human relations are important for the development of both parties. And also not for those who are seen, for the unseen, for the spirits. That's why for the good spirits, we are now transferring merits for our relatives and also share the merits with the good devas. Let us all say, Idam me ñātinang hotu, sukhitam ñātiyo 3 times. Idam me ñātinang hotu, sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinang hotu, sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu, sukhita huntu ñātayo. Let us share these merits with the good devas who protect our temples, who protect our homes, ourselves, and who protect our Samma Sambuddha Sasana, the message of the Buddha. Let us say Akasattacha 3 times. Akasattacha Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Yantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Sasanam. Akasattacha Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Yantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Desanam. Akasattacha Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Yantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Manvaranti. Sarat, jadi gimana? Puja kan?
Ini India, Brazil, Air, terutama dapur Indonesia, Cina, dari luar ni, negara ni, ini.
Thanks for coming. So we'll have tea refreshments now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
කාගේ theory එකක්ද? Who says that?
theory එකක් නෙවෙයි. practical. ලංකාවේ තියෙනවානේ brilliant machine කියලා.
මොකක්ද?
aura එක brilliant machine.
It is called oralogy.